Used to the curator of the research and some of the material there, and she was explaining to us so in a way how the archives are developed historically, etc., etc. But I'll let Sister Doctor say what was your experience, my sister.
Well, first of all, let me give thanks to the Most High for creating a situation which I don't think any of us
It was created by the Most High, because
we
couldn't organize it if we tried.
No. And the conduit
Absolutely.
for that experience was Queen Mother Sister Yeshiva, who has kindly offered to support the UK leg of this Global African Research Trot that I have embarked on. So she made contact with the Black Cultural Archives and spoke with the chair of the board there, and there was another board member there, and other staff were making themselves available to give us a tour of the Black Cultural Archives. Now, that was the launch of the UK leg of the Global African Research Trot, and it wasn't
the launch though, but it was just the launch of the UK leg.
Yes, that's
okay,
right.
Okay.
So this trot is occurring in the Caribbean and in the Americas, in the UK, and on the continent of Africa. So it's the UK leg that Queen Mother was responsible and is responsible for coordinating the itinerary for, and she's doing an amazing job, absolutely amazing job. I give thanks. So we were privileged to have audience with the chair, and as you said, she took us around, and I never realized the Black Cultural, the BCA was such a, I don't know, it's a special place. It really holds our history in a certain kind of way. They have an exhibition going on. They have artifacts in archived and protected. They have a reading room. They have a history.
Research, yes. And they've got the room that the special temperature.
Absolutely.
So the paper doesn't
Yeah, it's a professional environment for with controlled temperature and controlled humidity. Just a really professional,
very professional.
Provision that we need to take advantage of.
Definitely.
They also have new members of staff who are have a vision for having the BCA link with other provisions internationally, so that our story can be documented and told according to us.
Absolutely.
Not through other people's idea of who we are.
Absolutely.
Because our contribution to the world has been huge. And undervalued.
Absolutely.
And that provision, I mean, as you said, we spent the day there. I was blown away. I learned so very much. And I will be going back. As part of my data collection, I will be going back there. And I look forward to hearing more, seeing more.
Absolutely.
We may even do something else there. Because I know we're doing something on Sunday, and we're appearing and doing things in various places, and that information will be on Facebook. But just the BCA experience for me yesterday I was full up. I was like, oh my word!
You didn't end the joy. You full the joy.
Full up.
No. Enjoy business. We're full joy. The team.
Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Nice.
I want to give thanks to all involved. I want to give thanks to you for making yourself available to join me on the trot, because trotting is a thing. It's not easy.
I'm this person at about I'm about like 2 or 3 inches like just away there. Just kind of. So sometimes I just kind of hover on the situation, and then I might just bring in something that I've been viewing. I was trying to do that sometimes yesterday. I didn't intervene much. There were times where I listened intently yesterday.
At one point I
to
asked you.
People. No, I was really.
I asked you how you were doing, and
No,
you were like...
there was some stuff I was listening to, and I just had to listen. You know, sometimes you just have to shut up your mouth, just have to be quiet. Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
As Elder Rick to say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you must listen more than you talk.
It really is a resource of value.
No,
there were
it's
researchers
fantastic.
there. We saw Sister
Zinga. And she's done some research, and I'm sure that's what's provided a lot because she's done some research on the women in the Garvey movement.
Yes.
And I'm sure that because we saw Una Marson and there was some stuff there that I'm sure that's where she should have got a lot of that from.
Really good.
Yeah. You know, she went to live in Jamaica for a period of time. She's only just returned.
I actually met up with her in Jamaica at one point.
So did I.
Right. So we know Brother Dekanu and Sister Queen Pam.
Yes.
And Next Generation Publishers.
Yes.
And they made it possible for us all to link in one place. And so when I saw her yesterday, it just threw me right back to Jamaica, and I was like, I miss Jamaica.
and she was so warm, wasn't she? She's a wonderful person.
Phenomenal.
She was actually, just to say, she was very central with Sister Moasi's memorial, if you want to call it. I'm not even sure what was the proper terminology, but she was really central in that, you know. And then I was really pleased to be part of that.
Yes.
You know.
And Sister Moasi is one of those sisters who's like a sister soldier for me. Back in the day, she was by my side along with Sister Abina, who really supported those seminars and workshops. And I hope to do some of those things again. The sister soldiers are making themselves available, and brother soldiers are making themselves available.
They're out there, honestly.
Yes.
And when we did the Sister Moasi's memorial, I'll just call it that for the moment. One sister gave a testimony, and she said that, she went out on the radio and she had no family would support her. She just had a child, whatever. And she literally just phoned up Galaxy Radio and said, can anybody out there just basically come round and just give her a hand? And she said it was on her doorstep, Sister Moasi. She said she didn't know her from before.
Wow.
But Sister Moasi she just heard it on the radio and went round Sister's house.
And that just kind of harking back to Sister Queen Sharon. There are some good things happening in our community. There are good people in our community. What we have to do is ramp up the energy around the good things that we are doing, that we have done, and that we will do.
Absolutely.
Just drown out all the negative energy.
Absolutely.
And, let us love ourselves and save ourselves from the nonsense. So, the schooling thing is an area that I'm kind of going in on, like, hey, let's rescue ourselves from what happens to us in school. Let's talk about it. Let's share our experiences so we can come up with the appropriate solutions. I
agree. Wow, there's so much out there. The thing is, the trod includes so many things, and I mean, this little 2 hours don't really have enough time for really going out, really.
Going night.
Yeah, if we're going night.
English is not office.
No, agreed. And you're comfortable, sis. You don't feel that way. And you see, there's a very there's something that you are doing that really there's nobody else we have out there that can do that. And we talk a lot about nation building and having our own institutions and what have you, but a lot of these things that we're talking about building and these schools and these alternative things, they're not up to scratch, they're not up to par, they're not up to standard. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So for us to ask people to come out of the state system or don't use the state resources, they'll be going to some substandard broke up, mashed down thing, which is not really, would not really serve their interests, you see. And the beautiful thing about having you in terms of, your status and your insight into that whole kind of quality assurance is to make the institutions that we're trying to create as an independent people, so that our people can leave their institutions, is what, in a sense, what you're saying is so that they're up to par.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's not leaving one thing to go and get some substandard thing, but you're leaving something to go and get something infinitely better and much more suited to who you are.
And what I've been talking about for years is the alternative frame of reference. We have principles and practices
Precisely.
that are not taught to us in
But
Eurocentric schools.
To me, what you're doing now, you see, for years we theorized that.
Right.
What you're doing now is you're saying,
these are the parameters, these are the indicators,
let's
this is how we are compliant.
Bring forth the reality now.
Yes.
It's time we bring the reality. You know
With
what
the
I'm saying?
cultural nuance, with the spiritual injection,
Yes.
with the standards of excellence and beyond.
Absolutely.
Not
So
crushing spirits.
when they try to come to judge us, they can't find. There's nothing, because in many ways we're using tools that they use. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We're using in a way that is going to be, for a change, is benefiting us and not benefiting them necessarily.
Right. We are paying attention to reference points that they have, but we are using tools that we have had for years. I'm not giving them the credit for the tools we're using. Not at all. Not at all.
I like that,
We're
I like
using
that.
our tools. We're just reclaiming things. I mean, in
Absolutely.
conversations,
It's a reclaim.
we're reclaiming
It's a reclaim,
things.
it's a
As part of
reclaim.
our reparation, we are reclaiming, and our reference point is a high reference point. I don't speak of grassroots as though it's second hand or second to anything. I'm talking about high class grassroots.
Right.
Let me coin that phrase.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
We can be grassroots and
Yeah.
still have levels of excellence.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
know who we are. Let us
Absolutely.
move among ourselves and cultivate the best in ourselves and not lose our divinity or our mind.
Absolutely.
You know, because
Absolutely.
what? If somebody who doesn't look like us is not in charge, it's not good.
I hear
If you ever know the kind of slackness people who don't look like us get involved in, you would have never eat or sleep with them. You
Tell
will
me
not
about
take tea
Tell
with these
me about
people.
it. Tell me about
No.
it. Tell me about
Look
it.
at what they're doing to us and our children. This
Yeah.
pipeline to prison service
Oh,
thing. It is,
please.
you know,
It's a disgrace.
these terms are being accepted, are normalized now
Yeah.
because we know that that's what's happening. It has
Yes.
got to stop.
I agree.
Got to stop.
But the point is, until we build our I mean, you know, and I'm just using them as an illustration. I'm not, you know, I'm not, it's not casting any aspersions. But, you know, people like Al Cableland talks a lot about nation building, and they're correct. I agree. But the point is, the nation has to have, people have to have credible alternatives. Yeah, they're not going to go to something that is substandard. They're not going to do that. So until we can build our own and make it credible and have it in many respects, it needs to be better.
You know what?
Not as good as, yeah, or like
they're
theirs.
not. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They are not our reference point.
Precisely.
We have an alternative frame of reference.
Precisely.
And
Precisely.
not that we just need to begin to. We have begun to.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
it has been happening.
Yes.
Some of us have established schools. The schools were not
Sure,
sustained, but we
sure,
have done
sure,
it.
sure.
And the children that have come out of those systems have
Agreed.
come out with confidence, a sense of identity.
Absolutely.
They've been able to navigate not just the UK and their postcode or their ends. They have been actually confident enough to stand on the stage with anybody because they know who they are.
Absolutely.
Their roots are firmly grounded in a
Absolutely.
rich ancestry, and that is what we need to be cultivating and promoting.
Absolutely.
Make the other people them go until they're no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation. Until
I remember my brother was saying that's the important thing in there. It's until. We don't reach there say yet. Until. Sis, I honestly, there's a part two here, you know. You know that, don't you?
Well,
a
I
part
would
2 and a
want to-
part 3 and
I
a
give
part
thanks.
4 and a part 5
You know,
and a
this
part
trod,
6.
this trod is really not about an incident.
No.
You know,